Why are you doing it this way? Explain to me. Welcome to the Video Philosophy channel on YouTube, where someone, talk at you through a camera and a microphone and show you graphics and words, because I am smart. Do you need proof? Okay, I have a bookshelf. Smart. So what do I need from you? I'd like you to just sit there and consume it and feel the tingly mental pleasure of the simplified versions of things I read in my books. Many books. Got the tingly? Next I say, smash that like button. Ah, refreshing. Join my Patreon. Ooh, the tingles. This is the formula, and well, it's a formula. It does explanations, and it's also boring. But if there was some theory content anywhere that followed its form, content plus form, I don't know, for me that means a little less transparent, formulaic. At least it would be if I had it my way. But oh wait, I do have it my way. This is my channel. Shit. Okay, let's look at the peak of an object iceberg with a new formula. Formula 1. It's got dromology, it's got hyperreality, it's got a fatal strategy, it's got every... Look, I'm explaining again. Could you just believe me that there's something to see here? Theory is not so fun sometimes because no one actually trusts each other to draw conclusions without spelling it out like it's a lesson. Why am I doing it this way? And I'm going to. Trust you, that is. If you do want my sources, if you really want to piece this together and get your intellectual tingle, I'll put some books in the description. And that's it. Roll my intro. Sick. So Formula 1. I'm not a big sports guy, but it's pretty hype. And I'm not so much interested in who's winning, but rather what the event as an event signifies and what it reveals about the rest of the world. Formula 1 is the accursed share of a whole historical stage, a microcosm of the globalized culture of ritualistic sacrifice and excess. It is waste in its purest ecstatic form. A circuit whose end is its beginning, going nowhere. Its motion around a circuit of circuits, acceleration to the extreme, its velocity for its own sake, and it's surveilled from every angle. Visual saturation. Formula 1 is the realist scene of the present stage, the circuit where it all links up. Expenditure. First, the spectacular expenditure of energy does define all sport. That's what it is, a rush to nowhere. But this is more than the expenditure of calories, even these ancient black calories. This is the exchange of a man for a machine for man, where humans disappear into the machines, transhumans. Man becomes a technical and technological instrument. At this stage, subjects disappear in an obscene drive of excess, excessive speed, an overwhelming hyper-signification screaming at your eyes from every surface. The signs of luxury. The images come in excess, more than can ever be seen, and always, beneath the surface, the pleasure of a coming catastrophe. The pleasure of the crash. It's an underlying tension for the spectator. Adrenaline rush. The anticipated space. The Accursed Share is perfected here too. F1 is a looking glass containing the whole world, our world. It links capitalists' tax havens to Gulf oil. It links wealth to wealth, from the G7 to Islamic monarchies, from mob states to gangster cities. The map has a dark underbelly glossed over by the shiny, conspicuous exchange of the cult of the brand, the cult of the celebrity, and of course the cult of technics. Here's the end of all borders and boundaries. Global exchange. This scene of excess is covered in the vestiges of ancient heraldry. But this is not a repetition of history. It's the annihilation of that history. The end of the long human war against space. Horses, bulls, and now these transhuman knights joust over velocity in space, dromology, a race for biological and technological supremacy, peak engineering. Death drive. The drivers are alone, but in their cockpits, they are no longer anyone. They become machines too, produced by teams of experts, engineers, mechanics. Of the car, yes, but they're also the engineers and mechanics of the image. The trainers, body engineers, the sports psychologist, a mechanic of the psyche, the gears of the human speed industry. The speed industry used to only serve war. Racing is the extension of war by other means, as war is the extension of politics by other means. There's no hard boundaries here. War is always right beneath the metal skin. War is the maternity ward of speed engineering. Formula One signifies its destiny. The reality of this Sunday circus is in its extremity. A hyper-real production of the code of the larger culture, the global culture. A hurtling hypervitality. The perfectibility of objects, the annihilation of subjects, the operationality of the slightest detail, and the overwhelming excess of the sign. This isn't just F1, of course. F1 is just one of its symbols. Excess, speed, success by engineering, hacking. The track is not the actual site of the competition, though, is it? The real competition takes place elsewhere, between images. Some of which have something invested into the actual speed market, and others that merely trade in its signs for a more formless type of myth. Acceleration for its own sake, again, going nowhere. Pure velocities where the drivers disappear. No longer of this world. A brush with death, with afterlife. And for us, spectacular death. Here we find the myth of the automobile, the accelerant, at its most accelerated. Formula One spreads the cult of the vehicle and its use, but it does much more to maintain the fundamental illusion for all, which is to validate expenditure itself, waste for its own sake, and infinite acceleration. From the engineers of speed to the engineers of the self, every surface, every molecule is engineered at the smallest scales. And at the largest scales, the annihilation of history becomes here the timeless loop of another infinite time.
What a race we have in store for us. Great job!
So all this together in this polytopic reference is, to me, a sign that I'm going to call the mirror of disappearance. And make sure you're keeping up with my content if you want to hear more on that. It probably won't be a book, certainly won't be a book. Probably some audio or video, but it is coming soon. And let me tell you who's not gonna miss it. These people. So some quick, heartfelt thanks from me to you, because if it weren't for you guys, I'd still be editing ads for car companies instead of making videos about car companies, which is a relief. Later.